Good morning.
Good morning. Is that you, Bill?
Yes, I've been trying to get on.
This is Jim Horstman. I was
Hi,
on
Jim.
for a while. I don't know if they can hear us.
Well, apparently not. Here we go again.
Yeah.
I try, and it says I'm in the meeting, and then it's just nothing.
Yeah, I was on for a while.
Hey guys, this is Katie. I can hear you.
Yeah, this is Doug. I can hear you.
Well, apparently we're still not in the meeting.
Well, we're in the meeting. It just hasn't started yet.
It hasn't.
No.
Oh, well, that's encouraging.
Yeah, they have it set up online, but they're waiting to get some microphones. So we're
Ready?
just a little delayed. So you should
Good,
be good.
everybody good? Okay,
Oh,
we're gonna call the meeting to order. Can you hear me, Mr. Palin?
yes.
Okay. Everybody be sure to unmute themselves. We're gonna call the meeting to order. Sorry for the delay. We had a little technical problem and we had to rig a separate system in the back room because we had overflow. So now we're ready to go, and we're gonna start out with a Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag, the United States of America,
And to the republic, which is one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
justice for all.
Thank you very much. We'll have a roll call.
Allen,
Here.
Valley,
Here.
Bowers, Broom, Considine,
Here.
Farster,
Here,
Gibler,
Here.
Horstman,
Here.
Kitson,
Present.
Popine,
Present.
McLean,
I think he's in the back. Back row.
Bemini,
Present.
Norberg, Olson,
Here.
Palin,
Here,
Hardington, Sheline, Shippert,
Here.
Truckenbrode, Wentling,
here,
White,
Here.
Williams,
Present.
Nicholson,
Here. Just want to remind everybody to mute their phones or turn them off. In that case, we'll go right to acknowledgements. On your agenda, you'll see Ray Harrison is the first one. Unfortunately, they weren't able to make it here. Mrs. Harrison has some issues with the COVID-19. They're going to set that up for December if at all possible. We'll make that work. Secondly, Tim Deem, and I have Bill Brozovich here to accept something for Tim Deem. Bill, if you can just come in and come up here and try to stay as far away from Tom as you can, I'd appreciate it.
That's part of the course.
Yeah. Mr. Brozovich is a very good friend of Tim Deem, and unfortunately, Mr. Deem passed away. You can see his seat is got a black cloth on it, but he was on our board for approximately 10 years and did an exceptional job, was involved with 911, involved with Black Hawk Hills, was on the Public Safety Committee, and just did a fine job with whatever he did. But we have a plaque here, or not a plaque, but we have a pronouncement that's frameable, and I'm going to read it actually. It says, whereas Timothy Deem has always been mindful of the interests of Lee County and worked tirelessly toward the betterment of the county, his involvement in county government included, which was not limited to serving on, and I read off what he was on, whereas Tim Deem provided outstanding leadership and guidance to Lee County on each and every capacity he served in. And whereas Tim Deem served as a county board member for nearly 8 years since being elected in December 3rd of 2012. Whereas Tim Deem served faithfully and with honor, integrity, and great distinction during his years in county government, earning the respect of board members, county officers, employees, and the public. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Lee County Board formally acknowledges and extends its profound appreciation to Tim Deem for contributions made during his service to Lee County. Further being it resolved that to commemorate his extraordinary dedication and service to the citizens of Lee County, a copy of this resolution will be presented in the honor at the November 2020 County Board meeting and shall be duly recorded and spread upon the minutes of the November 19th, 2020 meeting of the Lee County Board. And I'd like a motion to pass that resolution. Mr. Kitson, second by Mr. Copine. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, and I want to present this to Mr. Bill Brozovich, who will get this to Nancy Deem, his sister living down in Florida, I believe it is. So here. Bill, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On behalf of the Dean family, particular Nancy Deem, there in Florida, I'd like to thank you for this resolution on their behalf. Chairman Nichols called me 2 minutes ago, and I don't have much to say, but Tim Deem is like the county, you know, 7 years sheriff. I know since 1990, sheriff never needed. He was on started cocaine. Yep. We got good times together. When you retired, you went on to the county board. And whether you agree with him or not, Tim always has got more county for the board. But he's very proud of this moment. For those who aren't aware, Nancy Dean is Florida, and Tim's names will be buried next to Florida down in Florida. If any of you have finding more information, give me a call. I can give you Nancy's address and phone number and all that. Okay.
Thank you.
It's an honor, and thanks to all of you, and on behalf of the Dean family, I want to thank you.
Thanks, Bill. Thank you. Appreciate your time. Say hello to Nancy for us. And the next thing on the agenda is the acknowledgement of Judy Truckenbrough, who, I don't know, we all know Judy, and we all know that she's done an exceptional job as chairman of the Ad Services Committee. Brought us through some kind of tough times on that committee, but always was very studious and did a great job, in my opinion. I'm really sorry to see Judy go. I talked for almost a year to get her to rerun, but she decided not to. So I think she had other outside pressures to keep her, to want her to run, but she was strong. So I have the same thing to read about Judy, and I'm going to do that. Whereas Judy Truckenbrough has always been mindful of the interest of Lee County and has worked tirelessly toward the betterment of the county. Her involvement in appeals, Farmland Review Board, claims, solid waste, finance, executive committee, and Judy represented the county as the past president and treasurer for the Illinois Association of County Board Members. She chaired the administrative committee and was a member of the county board for 22 years. Whereas Judy Truckenbrough has provided outstanding leadership and guidance to Lee County in each and every capacity she has served. Whereas Judy Truckenbrough served as a county board member for more than 22 years from December 1st of 1998 through November 30th, 2020. Whereas Judy Truckenbrough has served faithfully and with honor, integrity, and great distinction during her 22 years of county government, earning the respect of board members, county officers, employees, and the public. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Lee County Board formally acknowledges and extends its profound appreciation to Judy Truckenbrough for the contributions made during her more than 22 years of service to Lee County. Further be it resolved that to commemorate her extraordinary dedication and service to the citizens of Lee County, Judy Truckenbrough be furnished a copy of this resolution, which shall be duly recorded and spread upon the minutes of the November 19th, 2020 meeting of the Lee County Board. I need a motion to pass that resolution. Mr. Olson, second by Ms. Schipper. All in favor, say aye.
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 You stay right where you're at, Judy, and I'll walk down there. Truly appreciate it.
Thank you. I do. I'm not sure I recognize that. I'm not sure I recognize that person you read about. But Dwayne used to tell people that if Judy went to a meeting and didn't say anything, she thought it was a waste of her time. So I had to say something today. So and you go back and I look and I, remember Dee, and we started out in animal control, and look how far animal control's come through those years. It just highlights. I started under Jim Jones, he mentored him. Don Trent mentored me with administrative services, and of course Rick and Jim Jones was already grooming Rick to be chairman way back when we started, and then of course my good friend Dick Binder. So I'm still grateful that Jim Seberg agreed to the formation of the employee group health insurance with the inclusion of employees in that, because that's such an important benefit. And the employees need to understand the hows and whys that go into this program and why it costs so much. Lake County was one of the first four counties that started CIRMA, and wonderful. I think we've saved well over 200,000 just in 10 years with that program. So keep it strong. We do need, we really need some backup there, because that's a really, really good program. It has been my honor to also serve on the Illinois Association of County Board Members and Commissioners with Kelly and the other people across the state. You pick up so many ideas and things from them. So if we could also use representation there. It's been harder with all the remote stuff, but if you're interested, call Kelly or me. I'd be glad to help you. And can't say enough about the department heads that we've had in the county. I so appreciate all the information, education, guidance that they've given me through the years in support. And then thank you to all the county board members that I've served with through the years that have the best interests of Lee County and its citizens, and that's why we're here.
Again, Judy, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
And unfortunately, Clay Partington isn't here, and Michael Broom is not here either, but I want to acknowledge their service. Clay decided not to run, and Mike Broom decided not to run again. So they will get a similar remembrance there, but they aren't here for the meeting right now. So, has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes from last month's meeting? Any corrections or additions? Not, then they stand approved as read. To the zoning board, 20P 1556, Dennis and Edith Pfeiffer. PIN number is there. The property is located in Reynolds Township, presently zoned Ag 1, Agricultural District. Petitioner desires that the property be rezoned as special use for selling fresh farm products directly to consumers as a farmer's market. Need a motion to send that to the zoning board. Mr. Norberg, second by Mr. Williams. All in favor, say aye.
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 Then the next petition is 20P 1557 by Big Sky Repower. All the pins are located in the zoning officers, quite a number of them. Properties are located in East Grove and May Townships. Petitioner's special use petition was approved last year to repower Big Sky Wind Farm. Big Sky has been asked to repetition because the project will be using GE 20.7 megawatt turbines rather than the mix of GE 22.3 and GE 2.5 turbines. So I need a motion to send that to the zoning board. Mr. Olson, second by Ms. Truckenbrode. And then the next one is petition 20P 1558, South Dixon Solar. PIN numbers are all located in the zoning office. The properties are located in South Dixon Township, presently zoned Ag 1 Agricultural District. Petitioners died. Okay, I'm sorry. Had a motion and a second. I'm sorry. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very
Aye.
much. Okay, back to the South Dixon Solar. Petitioner desires that the properties be rezoned as Ag 1 Agricultural District for special use for a solar facility. Need a motion? to send that to the zoning board. Mr. Williams, second by Mr. Bowers. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
None to the planning commission, and then we have a petition coming from the zoning board. Petition 20P 1555, Stewart Creek Solar. The property is located in Aldo, Willow Creek Township, presently zoned Ag 1 agricultural. Petitioner desires that the properties be rezoned as Ag 1 agricultural district for special use for a solar facility. That was approved and went through the zoning process, so I need a motion to approve that petition.
I'll
Mr.
move.
Williams, second by Mr. Second by Mr. Bowers. Any discussion?
I request a roll call vote.
Okay.
Horstman,
Yes.
Kitson,
Yes.
Copine,
Yes.
McLean, Mamini,
Yes.
Norberg,
No.
Olson,
Abstain.
Halen,
Yes.
Shippert,
No.
Truckenbrod,
No.
Wentling,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Allen,
No.
Valley,
Yes.
Bowers, Considine,
Yes.
Barster,
Yes.
Gibbler,
No.
Nicholson,
Yes.
Okay, I have 14 yes, 5 no, and then 3 are absent, and 1 abstained.
Motion passed.
Question about that motion. Did that have the stipulations with it on the zoning, but the zoning put towards it or not?
He can probably answer that better than myself or Charlie.
Like, that
Should have.
motion we just, whoever made the motion, did it have the 2 stipulations to it that come out of zoning on that? Motion approved.
Would have been under the impression they would have been attached. But
I'm uncomfortable with the one on there, but, I should have thought that I was-
Okay, sorry, Bob, I just.
Just voting on.
Charlie.
I don't know if it was a vote on the permit itself or if it was a vote on the recommendation for the permit with the conditions that the ZBA recommended.
Dee, can you shed some light on that? Okay, the motion, we made the motion to approve the petition, 1558. But nowhere on the agenda does it indicate that there were 2 were included in the petition or in the. Okay. Okay, and they were included in that. So that would have gone along with the motion.
Those conditions are in there.
Judy,
Can that be amended before they?
Well, it's already passed.
so we need to go in and,
But I meant, I didn't mean it now. I meant before the permit.
For the permit, what do you mean?
Building permit.
Oh, for the building permit? No, because you voted on the special use permit. That's the special use permit with the recommendations from the ZBA. That was what was voted upon and any conditions associated with that.
The condition that's on there that yes, I'm not comfortable with that condition. Could you explain that to us?
So there was a condition that was requested, or I'm sorry, recommended by the Zoning Board of Appeals that would put a cap on how long that permit would last, which was 35 years. And the other condition was that construction would begin at 7 a.m. and end at a certain time? At 7, okay.
So those conditions were in what we approved.
Correct, because that was the motion that was made to accept the recommendation of the ZBA.
What was you had problems with 35 years, Bob?
The one condition that the 35 years that the permit's good for, I don't know how we can do that with any company. To say it at the end of 35 years, the permit is no good. I was uncomfortable doing that. I think they could come back and argue that point, whatever type of company it is.
Yeah.
I want to stay away from that as just as me as a county is that precedent.
I understand. Yeah, that's. We'll have to wait. Did you catch any of that, Charlie? Bob was uncomfortable with obligating the county for 35 years or obligating the company to stop at the end of 35 years.
At the end of the 35 years, certainly they can come back in and ask that the county waive that.
Does that make you comfortable, Bob?
Yep.
Okay.
Let's just go with it.
And the motion is passed as stated. So.
I should have spoke up earlier. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's. Okay, let's go on. Nothing coming from the planning commission. Any board member comments? Mr. Copine.
It's not on the agenda, but there's been mention made at previous meetings about having a moratorium established as far as moving forward with these solar systems until we've got our completed ordinances that are amended and everything. I strongly believe in that because I'm starting to see where we can get confused on some of the issues, and I'm not pointing a finger at anybody. I think until we have this ordinance established and passed, we need to put a moratorium on any further solar systems coming in until that's established. We're bouncing back and forth, and it's not doing us any good. It's confusing us, and I think that was a good recommendation that either a month or 2 months ago by one of the citizens that was involved in one of the solar places. He asked us, he didn't demand it, he asked us to consider a moratorium. I know it's not on the agenda for today, and it hasn't been on the agenda other than by comments such as mine. I think we need to consider that for next month. As I understand, this ordinance has been tabled until next month. That just gives another 30 days for 4 or 5 more solar companies to come in and continue to add to the confusion that we're experiencing. We need to have a moratorium.
Buckham Road.
And then it should be requested that that go on to Properties Committee for their agenda.
I think it's in our agenda. I haven't looked, but we have an ordinance that we tweaked. It's not perfect by no means, and it needs to lay over a month, but it needs work too.
I'm not in opposition, Mr. Olson, to the delay until next month, but we can't grandfather anybody that comes in after the situation, even after today. If somebody else comes in tomorrow and the week after that and a week after that, and we get inundated with applications, we can't grandfather them when we finally do pass this ordinance. That's my biggest concern and my biggest comment right now. We're going too fast. I tried to make it last month and I wasn't successful.
I'm in total agreement with them because we've got too many things that we're not comfortable with in that ordinance as far as I'm concerned.
There's been some good changes. I've seen some fantastic changes that are
not perfect yet.
They're not implemented yet, that they're not passed, but it's headed in a fantastic direction. We just need to slow down and stop until we get this ordinance completed.
We could vote on that ordinance today if we I thought the ordinance is it?
Yeah,
Oh, the ordinance. Okay.
the ordinance is on the agenda. Big Sky is already petitioned to repower, and so is South Dixon petition to go into place. I don't know if there's anything we can do about that whatsoever, but we could potentially stop any from coming in and petitioning between now and when we get the verbiage on the ordinance. Correct. Or
Farmer
how we
Normal.
want it. Yeah, Charlie?
Come on in and sit down.
Yeah, have a seat. Charlie.
Yeah, you might have a seat right here, Charlie. Yeah. So instead of laying that over 30 days, we could, what do you thought, Charlie?
Could vote to suspend the rules.
That would probably put more teeth into our ordinance now for anybody coming in the next 30 days.
Will that put a hold on any future applications if we vote?
It will not stop the one that you just voted upon, which was the South Dixon solar.
Correct, I understand that, but let's just say from today forward, with what's already on the docket on applications that are in effect right now, somebody else comes in after we make the move on this ordinance, are we going to be told, no, we can't do that because this was already in place and, you know, the passing of the ordinance or whatever wasn't in a timely fashion, so therefore we can't prevent the new ordinance amendments from being affected.
Oh, let me see if I understand real quick. So are you asking if you can vote to suspend the rules in terms of passing the ordinance today and not tabling it till next month? Or are you asking to vote to suspend the rules and vote on some type of moratorium? You cannot vote to suspend the rules for a moratorium because there's no notice and it was not on the agenda.
But we can suspend the rules, pass the ordinance, and at least anybody coming in after today would have to adhere to that ordinance.
We want them changes passed. It's not perfect, but we can still work on the document. But it does make some more setbacks and it's more palatable than where we are today. So.
Well, my concern is that this is still in discussion right now. And if there isn't any action taken at all, 6 more companies can come in and file an application. That's what I don't want. I want these ordinances, if this is what we're going to pass, or to pass it to the effect that, you know, we move to a moratorium or whatever. I am in opposition to any further solar companies coming in, filing application because this ordinance is in a temporary status. This needs to be completed. We have to have the guidelines that we want in place, voted on and approved. I don't want to see any more applications for solar farms until that's taken care of.
So then this county board needs to decide whether or not it wants to hold over the ordinance as normally done in the past, or suspend the rules, vote on it today, it becomes effective, or have a special county board meeting within the timeframes that are allotted by law to have a vote on the moratorium, or push the moratorium off until next month.
Well, I'm not seeing too much benefit toward what I'm looking for, but I'm not the county board. I'm stating my opinion.
Sure.
If we don't do anything with these and we continue a table through next month, then we've still got another 30 days that 4 or 5 or whatever number of more solar companies come in and apply are now in under the gun. They don't have what may apply to them on the county's benefit under the approved ordinances. So if we table that.
If we suspend the rules, Mike, and are able to vote on this ordinance and put it into place, at least they'll have to adhere to what we did to put teeth into this ordinance as far as setbacks and so forth. Otherwise, it will hang out there for 30 days. Bob.
I recommend that's what we do if everybody's comfortable with it. And otherwise, if we hold this over 30 days and we make changes, then we got to hold it over another 30 days. I think if everybody's comfortable with this, we suspend the rule and vote on it up or down. And then it doesn't mean we need to stop working on it. We can still address this ordinance as we move forward.
And I would just caution you as suspending the rules, if you set a precedent with that you're just trying to push an ordinance through. No, I understand that's what you're trying to do.
I was going to say
I'm just
that,
saying for
Bob.
future.
Well, I could make a comment that would probably perturb many of people, and then when the comment got to some of the people that were involved, it would perturb them too. But that has already happened in a couple of issues with the Zoning Board of Appeals. People were denied a 30-day extension to do some research, and the comment to something to this effect was, no, the Zoning Board wants to go ahead and move forward with this. Therefore, their request for an extension was denied. Now, if I'm out of line, I apologize for that, but that's what happened. Look at.
No, I think that was an accurate recitation of what occurred during the.
And there was nothing we can do about that right today, but we can put teeth in anything that would come in. If we don't pass something today, then it's carte blanche, and the word passes even in amongst opponents that somebody may come in a petition, and then they will be held to a lesser standard than is in this ordinance. There was a lot of work went into it, and then it was tweaked above and beyond that to make it tougher yet. Yes. Yes, I'm sorry, I couldn't see you, Mr. Bell.
I agree with the concept of suspending the rules, and normally we don't do that. We had not intended to do that today, but with the public's input on the ordinance being setbacks being expanded, and that was the main input. This ordinance accomplishes that, and it also accomplishes Mike's concern with applications between now and the next 60 days. So we could put this in place. If we receive further comments from the public, we can deal with that. I think our motive for suspending rules is a good one. It's to put in place the feedback we've gotten from the public. So that would be, I would agree with Bob and the chairman that in this rare instance, we would suspend rules, and I would recommend that we go ahead and vote it up or down today.
Thank you. Mr. Kitson, you had your hand up several minutes ago, and I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I agree with what's been said, but in a clarification point for myself, at least, I would like to see us look at the moratorium on next month's agenda. I know we can't vote on it today, but to be able to listen to more of the county's feedback. I don't know about anybody else, but I've had a lot of phone calls over these, and it seems to be the same thing. I don't know that we as a board, and I'll speak for myself, hear all the issues that people are bringing up. And I think with a moratorium, we have an opportunity to do that. Some counties around us have already done that with moratoriums. It doesn't mean we don't want more solar projects. It just slows that process down. And I know several of us have talked that the process is just moving too fast, and there's fear of what can happen if we're out of control. I'd just like to see us get this taken care of, but also get a moratorium on the agenda for next month.
That came out of, it came out of property, so we'll go back to properties for discussion. Any feedback we can get, and Judy had her hand up.
So I agree. The topic and the changes that are in the proposed ordinance changes today have been talked about loosely at previous meetings, so it's not a surprise. It's not like this is brand new to come before the board. So I make a motion that we suspend the rules to vote on this solar ordinance.
You want me to get you now, no, Chris, or
yes, please
do it under discussion?
No,
There's a second. So
there's
now
a
we
second, so you can vote on it.
Back to discussion.
Who was the second?
Wetling.
Wetling.
So guys, we can vote on a moratorium by simply voting no on every single one of these solar projects. Just because we vote no doesn't mean that they can't come back and repetition in a year or 2 years or 5 years. So I get what we want to do with a moratorium. It makes perfect sense to me, but if we're concerned about citizens calling us, we should have been voting no on all these solar farms. We're going to have right now over 11,000 acres in Lee County, potentially in solar. Like, that's a lot. Like, that's a good sized farmer, right, Bob? Yeah. So we had the ability to vote essentially a moratorium, and we continue to vote yes. So I get where everybody's coming from, and I agree we need a moratorium, but I feel like we're pulling on both sides.
Any other discussion on that before we make a vote? Okay, we have a motion and a second.
That has to be a roll.
Yep, has to be a roll call. Oh, excuse me.
Okay, my motion is
The
to
motion-
suspend the rules. to
Motion
vote
is
on
to
the
suspend
solar
the rules.
Ordinance changes.
Right. And we have a second, Mr. Wentling. And a roll call
Yep.
on that.
Kitson, Copine,
Yes.
McLean, Mamini,
No.
Norberg,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Halen,
Yes.
Shippert,
Yes.
Bruckenbrode,
Yes.
Wentling,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Williams,
No.
Allen,
Yes.
Valley,
Yes.
Bowers, Considine,
No.
No.
Barster, Gibler,
Yes.
Horstman,
Yes.
Nicholson,
Yes.
Okay, 15 yes. 5 no. 1 seat is vacant. 3 absent.
Motion to suspend the rules is passed. Now we need a motion to approve the solar ordinance as presented. Mr. Olson, second by Ms. Truckenbrode. And discussion?
Yes. Charlie talked to me in a sidebar here, and he's concerned that everybody doesn't understand or have read what the changes are in the ordinance. And I thought maybe Dee or one of us could go through them to make sure everybody's fully aware of what we're doing in the ordinance.
These are the changes that have been made and sent up. Mr. Duffy, would you like to present the changes?
Yeah, but yeah, I'm just talking about the setbacks we did, just the brief overview of what we did for the setbacks, what we were and what they were and what we moved them to. Maybe Dave, you know offhand too. I don't, I was in the meeting with you. Never mind.
E, do you want my copy? Or?
I think there's just 5 or 6 things we changed in it, right? Correct, Dave? Are you comfortable enough, Dave, telling us what we did?
So the one that we have received calls on and comments on were the most significant were setbacks. Previously, they were 50 feet. And this revision to the ordinance moves them to 300 feet, correct? And then 600 feet from the foundation of any dwelling. So we're going from 50 feet to 300 feet. And also including a caveat that it has to be 600 feet from the foundation of any primary dwelling. So that is the most significant thing that we received input on from the public, and that is how we address that.
I think we also changed the height restriction down to 20 feet.
20 feet, yep.
30 feet. I'm just bringing out to make sure everybody's aware of what we're voting.
Sure. Get more prescriptive on visual screens. That has been incorporated by some of the projects that are underway, but being more prescriptive of visual screens so that people that are adjoining the solar arrays would not have to look at them, essentially. And we strengthened and detailed more the decommissioning piece of it.
The lighting, I think we made sure the lighting was
downcast.
It's not perfect by no means, but it's a start, and I think it needs to be followed up on, tweaked yet.
Any questions or any other discussion?
This is Jim Horstman. Another thing that was changed that had been brought up at prior hearings was specification for drainage provisions, which was an important issue to some people. The revised ordinance puts a lot more detail into that.
On the runoff and water management. Yep.
Any other discussion on that? So we have a motion and a second.
No, you have a motion and a second to suspend the rules. Now you need to get a
Okay,
motion
then I need a motion
pass.
to pass the solar ordinance. Mr. Olson, second by Mr. Williams. Any further discussion? Then we'll make a roll call vote.
Copine,
Yes.
McLean, Lemini,
Yes.
Norberg,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Halen,
Yes.
Shippert,
Yes.
Truckenbrod,
Yes.
Wentling,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Valley,
Yes.
Bowers, Considine,
Yes.
Barster,
Yes.
Gibler,
Yes.
Horstman,
Yes.
Kitson,
Yes.
Nicholson.
Yes.
Everybody voted yes.
21. Okay, personally, I want to thank Mr. Olson, Mr. Bowers, Ms. Duffy, Mr. Boonstra for helping not rewrite, but add stricter provisions to that ordinance. They did an excellent job. I hope everybody's had a chance to look through it. So,
The motion did carry.
yes, 21-0,
20.
20-0.
Mr. Chairman, we do not have any public comments in the back, so.
Oh, nobody there. Okay,
Mr. Chairman, I also realize that we are pushing at an hour. If we can go fairly quickly through reports, because we still have a lot to do. So.
right, we will. Finance, Mr. Olson.
Thank you. Finance met November 12th. We approved the financial monthly report. I've got some things, I'll be quick. Talking about the revenue, we're worried about COVID-19 and the revenue stream coming in, and surprisingly, the revenue is up. I'll go through just a couple of quick ones. The property tax from what we're dispersing to what we have in our budget is up $116,000 across the board. Most all tax, county sales tax, countywide sales tax, local use tax. If I add all three of them up together, we're up $141,745 from our budget. Our income tax is, we're waiting for the last month to come in, but if it comes in where it is, our income tax is going to be up, but we received. The only thing that's down is the public safety tax is going to be down about $68,000 from our budget. And the landfill tipping fees are actually up $127,000 for the year. So that's a huge surprise. We had $200,000 in our budget and we're bringing in $327,000. The rest of the items on our report are in yes, the items are in your packet. I'd be glad to answer any questions. I just wanted to take them out.
Any questions for Bob?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
Bob, I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Since COVID-19 is bouncing around like ping pong balls off of us here, how adversely has COVID-19 affected the sales tax aspect of things? If our sales tax is down?
Our sales tax is up
Okay.
all across the board. The only one that's down is the safety tax. And I don't know why, if something was suspended or something, but we're down about $60,000. But I think the items consumers were buying does not tag to our safety tax, probably is what I would say.
Or food. Walmart's profits are up 70%.
Yes. We're behind on one state income tax distribution, and so that one is neutral right now. But the rest of them are up. I mean, it's surprising how they're up. Also, I guess I should add that we put in for our COVID $540,000 relief. We turned in $1 million of claims, so we should get 100% of our $540,000.
They're starting to come through. We got $71,000 approved yesterday.
That will actually help our 2020 budget next. So really, year end, we're looking good.
Thank you.
Transportation, solid waste. Mr. Sheeline, are you there? Okay. Mr. Considine or Dave Anderson, you want to give a brief report?
I just say the meeting, we met, had a discussion. If you guys have any questions, I know the minutes were in there, so I don't have any real update.
Any questions? We have a resolution coming up for payment for some road improvements later on. So Mr. Bauer's property is only in planning.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Properties did meet last Tuesday at 8 a.m. I wanted to thank Bill Palin for chairing that meeting. I was able to attend via Zoom, but he was able to chair that in person. The items of significance, the EOC that was under construction in November completed here on the 3rd floor of the new courts building. That's is a key asset for the county to help manage the current COVID situation and future emergencies as they occur. Want to thank all that were involved. I know our maintenance department was involved with that a lot, working with MDS Construction to complete that on time and on budget. The LAN upgrade and phone system work continues on. The old and new courthouses rewires are completed. Network switches are ordered, and those will be put in place. The fiber work between 911 and the new courts building, and then from the new courts building to the old courthouse, is in progress. And we're working with Cindio and FISIC on porting phone numbers. That will probably be the long leg of the actual implementation, but the phone system upgrade is going forward. No problems there. And that's all I have unless there are questions on any items.
Any questions for Mr. Bowers? Okay, lots, excuse me, Mr. Sheeline's not here. Mr. Gates is in the back room, and we do have a resolution later on for everybody to look at. Mr. Gates, are you back there? Do you have any comments? None? Okay. Ad services, Ms. Truckenbrough.
Thank you. We met. Just again, kudos to the election department. That was a fantastic response from all of their people, and the vote totals are in there, and I'm sure they've been in the paper. So, and also an excellent response to the wellness biometric screening that was held in the end of October. Lots of projects. The new payroll system was installed last week. I didn't get the report that it's done, but it will be used starting December 1, and other IT projects moving forward. So unless there are other questions, that's my report.
Any questions? Public safety, Mr. Capeen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Public safety met on November 10th. I'm not going to go through everything. We approved the previous minutes from the meeting. There was nothing under old business. There are a couple of topics under new business. It is in the report that you have there, or should be. Probably the most significant out of 3 requests for rehire would be a telecommunicator. We're in a pretty critical status as far as the number of telecommunicators that we have, because we have one off on a rather serious medical issue. It's not known whether that individual, when they will be able to come back, probably not until the first to maybe the middle of next year. So the concern was to hire one now, or as soon as we would deem possible, to get them in a training program, because we have another one that's going to be retiring. So we've got an issue there that we need to focus on, or we're going to be hammering 2 people in there working 7 days a week, and who knows how much overtime. So that's a critical issue that we need to consider there. There's a couple of more replacement hires, but I would push the one with the telecommunicator to the top. If there's any other questions, the meeting minutes are in here. Like I say, just ask me and I'll best to answer. Thank you.
Any questions for Mike? Okay. Blackhawk Hills Regional Council and 911 Board, Mr. Dean was our representative there. There's not been one reappointed, so there's nothing there to report. Minutes from the 911 Board are probably in your packet. I truthfully didn't notice that. Tourism, Mr. Phelan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The good news is that Christmas hasn't been canceled, but most of the Christmas activities have. So you all received the brochure from the tourism. We met on September 11th, and our hotel motel receipts amounted to $6,881.34. And compared with the receipts for 2019, were $3,233 less for September. And that just about covers my report for today. Any questions?
Any question from Mr. Phelan? Okay. Health Department, Mr. Olson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Health Board met November 10th. They approved their monthly financial reports from September, October, and the October, November claims were approved. Kathy continues to update us daily on the outbreak. She has a note that Dixon Correctional Center still continues to struggle with their outbreak, and numbers seem to be steadily climbing. That's all I have. Any questions?
Any question for Mr. Olson? Yesterday afternoon, I had a meeting that involved Ms. Ferguson, and there is a tremendous amount of COVID-19, and the numbers keep going up dramatically. Some of it's coming out of the prison, but it's going up across the county. And she asked for cooperation on the tracing issue. They've just, somebody gives you a call and it said that you may have been in contact with someone that has COVID, please respond, please help, and please put it out to the public, because that's a big help for them to try to keep things under control and at least find out where it's coming from. So, Tri-County Opportunities, Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Lee County Opportunity met October 29th. I have my, if you have a copy of my minutes, and if you have any questions, I'll be glad to try to answer them. I know we don't have a meeting next month, so.
Any questions for
Is there
Mr.
any
Williams?
questions?
UCCI, Mr. Forrester.
Yes, we met October 26th through the Zoom meeting. The biggest, one of the largest, or the information that'll affect all of us the most is probably that the legislature canceled their fall veto session. They've canceled their meetings here the week before. Well, it would have been going on this week, actually. For Illinois, the state legislators canceled the meetings. So the other thing that involves, it doesn't involve the county, but it does due to the townships, is most of us in the townships throughout Lee County run as independents. So far, they have not suspended the amount of votes are necessary on the petitions. For instance, in Dixon Township, that's 124 signatures, good signatures you need to even get on the petition. And why they haven't suspended that number or lowered it to a fifth of that or whatever it may be is beyond me, because it's hard to get people wanting to open their doors when you're out there with a clipboard to participate even in giving you a signature. So that's about all I have for right now. We meet again next Monday. Again, it'll be via Zoom.
Any questions for Mr. Forrester?
Not for Doug, but we need to back up and approve the claims for solid waste and transportation. I forgot to make that motion, or someone.
Okay. Need a motion. Are you making that motion, Casey?
Yeah, I'd like to make the motion to approve the claims.
Okay, we got a motion to pay the claims for solid waste. Mr. Norton, second.
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Casey. Okay, going down to UCCI, were you done, Doug?
Yes, I was. Thank you.
Okay. Kathy, do you have any knowledge of why they haven't suspended the number of names on the petition for township people? Just curious, thought maybe you had some.
That really doesn't pertain to
Okay.
us.
Okay. Under executive, minutes are in your packet. Need a motion for claims. Ms. Shippert, second by Mr. Copine. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And county officers' reports, request for deposit of funds, orders paid in vacation. Need a motion for that. Mr. McLean, second by,
Bill
who was that?
Palin.
Seconded.
Bill Palin.
Okay, second by Mr. Palin. All in favor, say aye.
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 Under old business, first one is the resolution for the tax levy. Held it over from October. We need a motion to pass that. Ms. Shippert, second by Mr. McLean. Roll call vote.
Whatever.
Nope.
you guys want to
Okay, any discussion on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Second resolution is the 2021 budget. That was held over from October. We need a motion to pass that. Mr. Kitson, second by Ms. Truckenbrode. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And I truly want to thank the Finance Committee. They put in an awful lot extra hours getting this. And as Mr. Olson talked about earlier, we are ending up with a much better financial condition than we did a year ago. So, under new business, there's a resolution in your packet for maintenance under the Illinois Highway Code appropriating motor fuel tax funds. We need a motion on that. Mr. Copine, second by Mr. McLean. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Second resolution we've got is involving the appellate court prosecutor fees. Every year we pay $15,000 to have them represent us as far as appeals go. Need a motion to pass that. Ms. Truckenbrode, second by Ms. Shippert. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Mr. Olson?
So can we have a brief break?
Sure. Okay. Everybody take a 10-minute break.
5 minutes, all I need.
5 minutes break, 5-minute break. Chris. Got a minute? Gotta hurry. 5 minutes. I want you to know I'm taking you.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Yep, thank you.
But you won't be there. Moratorium.
Somebody will.
No, but you really can't. Yeah. Back at that point.
Oh, stop. Who did that? Somebody in a movie. I always thought that was pretty.
Yeah, I remember that too, but I don't remember who.
I can't remember either, but I still like it. But it just needed to be on, it needed to be on property's agenda last.
Pardon me?
On property's agenda, it needed to be there last month.
Well.
So even speaking about it here doesn't get it on the agenda.
Well, but speaking about it here. So.
Becky, I mean, no, she can put it on anybody's agenda.
No.
You know what? Get it on Monday's December 7th meeting. At the organizational meeting. You don't usually have board members here and the new members know about it. I'm pretty sure it doesn't usually happen. Probably.
An issue. It's your last meeting, you're getting your money's worth there. I mean, it's like.
Okay, is everybody ready to reconvene? Okay, we had a minor faux pas in the fact that the levy needed a tax hearing because it was over 5%. And it went through, usually been bumped to 499, but Mr. Boonstra is going to explain, and then Mr. Olson will. Would you like to explain that, Mr. Boonstra? Or do you want to just have?
I'll just make a motion.
Just Bob will make a motion?
I make a motion to vacate passing of the levy due to the law that we cannot pass a levy without a hearing.
Okay, and we will have to schedule a hearing. Second by Mr. Norberg.
So we're going to have a meeting before the end of the year, full board, to have a truth and taxation hearing, and we're going to have to do it. And it's my mistake, it wasn't on the agenda, and that I just seen it. So I apologize.
Yep. Any discussion on that? Anybody on Zoom discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 We'll schedule that hearing, get it scheduled, get it done.
After the meeting for the end of the fiscal year, I would think.
We need to.
A reorganization meeting, can we do it then? We'll look into that and we'll get
No.
with everybody.
On the reorganizational meeting, you cannot conduct any other county business.
That's right. Do we want to do that just, not just prior to the reorganizational, but that's on a Monday? Do we want to have a meeting scheduled for, say, the previous Thursday or something like that?
Let's
Get it done.
Instead of taking up everybody's time, let's figure it out and then we'll.
Allows enough time. We'll get it taken care of and send it out. Ms. Shippert?
The previous Thursday to reorganizational meeting, we won't have the new board seated and the old board's terms have already expired.
They expired at the end of November.
And they expired at the end of November, but the new board will not be sworn in until the reorganizational meeting. So how can we have a meeting?
Okay, then we'll have to have it
Prior
before
to
the
that.
end of November. Good point. We'll have to have it before the end of November. I think it's best to revolve around the old board. But that, we can get that done, correct, Mr. Boonstra? What's that? Okay, good. Then we'll get that taken care of. Okay, now we are down into the resolutions. We had passed the appellate prosecutor fee. The next one is simply a resolution endorsing keeping the power plant in Byron open. Provides multitude of jobs for the area, a lot of revenue coming into the county. And I would like to entertain a motion to endorse all the efforts we can to keep it open. Mr. McLean, second by Mr. Copine. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Bally on discussion, please.
Sorry, what was that, sir?
Mr. Bally on construction. Yes, quick thing on this. Should we just buy we went through a thing and bought our power through a outside provider, and are we not causing some of our problems with our local plant being closed by doing this? And should in the future, should we look when we buy our electricity to their carbon footprint and their locality of where we're providing our electricity?
Yeah, comment is still the distribution point, and I don't believe they're doing much but distributing power anymore. Mr. Bowers.
To Dave's comment, there was an option that we could look at in the future that you can choose the green power, which would help solar, wind, and nuclear in that event. So we could look at that in the future. That's a good comment. Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, Dave. Dave, we had a motion and a second, and I'm sorry for the delay. There's a delay between what we say here and what you hear there. So we had a motion and a second. All in favor of that resolution?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Next resolution regards the creation of a Reagan Mass Transit District Ad Hoc Committee to advise to the Lee County Board. Doesn't necessarily say we're going to have a Reagan Mass Transit District. We just are getting together a committee to study that. It delineates in there who will be on the committee. And so I need a motion to approve that resolution. Mr. Kitson, second by Mr. Copine. Any discussion? Mr. McLean.
I've been involved with lots for 4 different directors. There's a lot of, I was not aware till I saw the motion on the thing that there was consideration of a mass transit district again. We passed a mass transit district about 6 years ago and then retracted it later. So there's a lot of detail that needs to be worked out. And so I applaud having an advisory committee, but it sounded like the original motion was we were supportive and wanted to do that. And it's really a complicated system.
Are you satisfied with that resolution now?
I'm
understanding that it's just appointed a committee to study it?
Committee, I think, is a good thing to do. I don't know if it's good for the county to have lots spin off or not, but that's what the committee can work on.
Yeah, I don't want to speak for Mr. Gates. I don't know if he's back there, but I believe it would be essentially dissolving lots and forming the Reagan Mass Transit District. Yep. Yep. And I think the committee, if you read who's going to be on it, will be a what's that? Once we get it passed, I'll certainly consider that, Mr. McLean. Okay. So we need motion to pass that. Mr. Olson,
You have.
I'm sorry, we have a motion and a
It's in
second.
cocaine.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? The next will be implementing an IT administrator position. It's a new position. Did you want to comment, Ms. Truckenboat, or?
Sure. Okay, so you were to a description of this. I think we're all aware of how much the IT department has grown, and we really need more than 2 people on that, and we need them at a higher level of skill and experience than just 2 people. One of the options was to bring in someone at an entry level, and I think the county's needs are beyond that, especially with all the new things going. So many of the things, even the LEC, so much is electronic, and most people want someone that is here, so rather than doing a remote access, which, you know, that is a possibility, but was not what was approved. A few people have made a couple recommendations just in changing some language, so a must to a should, and in the requirements, responsibilities, and just change strength, using a stronger or a different word in there. But the concept, and this can be amended before it would go out for publication or to seek applicants. But we, the basis of this administrator position is coming from committee, and so I do make that motion.
Okay, with the amendments to, before it goes.
Would there be, that can be adjusted, minor
Ms. Truckenboat made the motion.
minor verbiage adjustments.
Second by Ms. Shippert. Any discussion?
Okay, just clarification, what is the motion for?
To hire a IT administrator. That's a new position. Mr. McLean.
Yeah.
Then they deport ad services. I didn't pick that up either. Did you get your question answered, Mr. McLean? Okay. Mr. Olson.
I didn't know what the salary range would be, if you want to put that in your motion, so we have it.
Okay, it's in the, here, 65 to 75, I'm sure it's negotiable. I think there's might be a little more in the budget, but considering the benefit package that we have, which we have a very generous benefit package here, so, but it's negotiable. Sorry.
So we've got a motion, a second, and Mr. Williams, did you have a question? No? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? We covered the ordinance regarding the solar farm.
Hey, John.
Yes.
Being that position passed, I think we need to have, give you the authority to appoint the hiring committee for that or something. Charlie wanted me to do that. So I'd make a motion, we give the chairman to select a hiring committee for that.
Second.
Second, motion second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. And then we did cover the solar ordinance. Under liquor license, Mr. Olson, you've taken the lead on this. You want to elaborate?
Yes, I think we have around, give or take, 18 county licenses that are strictly county. We charge them $1,000.
1,500.
1,500.
And then one $750.
What we have, 1,500, and then we have one that we charge $750. That's like a package for a county. Being the COVID, they've been shut down. They haven't been able to sell alcohol for half the year. So I would like to make a motion that we refund them half of their liquor license fee.
Okay, motion and a second.
We're talking about $9,000.
Yeah.
Yes. We're going to refund, my motion is to refund this fiscal year's 50% of the.
I have talked to a couple people on this, and I'm all in favor of 100%. However, if we refund it, they have to pay taxes. If we waive it on the next one and make it the motion, make the license half price. And go ahead, Bob.
Problem I have is, there might be some of them that are not in business next year, so.
I agree.
I think.
Give me
we
wrong,
talked
I'm
about
just
that in
stating
committee.
what I was told.
Nope, I understand. We talked about it in committee, and I think we're just better off refunding them.
We got a motion second, Mr. Norberg, comment?
These were the businesses that were hit the hardest. If it's, we're talking $18,000 for the businesses of Lee County that are by far hit the hardest. If we gave them all of it back, like, is that an option for you guys? Like, I don't, we spent $18,000 on crazier things to give it back to the meat and potatoes of Lee County. I would not be opposed to that either, but I leave it to the board as well. Especially if they're gonna have to pay taxes on it now. Might as well give them a little more.
I can amend my motion to.
You can rescind your motion.
I rescind.
You'll rescind the second, you make a new motion. Right, Charlie? Okay.
Okay, I make a motion that we give 100% of the liquor license dollars back to the people that bought them.
I'd like to second that motion. Forster.
18,000.
We got Mr. Kitson had already made a motion. Thanks, Doug. Sorry. I know you probably can't see exactly what we're doing here, so.
No, I can. I'm just a little slow.
Any discussion? Ms. Shepard.
I'm fine with the concept here, but I'm a little bit worried about the precedent that we might be setting. You know, are there fees that the health department is charging that people are going to say, well, you know, I need this refunded also, and I need that refunded, and
there's
it's
some ongoing.
It's the precedent that bothers me, not the concept of this particular instance.
How do I raise my hand here?
I'm sorry, who would that be?
Laram? John, this is Laram. This is probably conflict for me to say something, but I have at least 7 or 8 restaurant people around Lee County and Dixon that have expressed interest into the health department food permits. Myself, I'm selling to-go orders. We're all doing to-go orders. We're closed, even though you know there are some restaurants in your town that are open, but they're still requesting the health department permits fees waived. They're about $450 a piece, and they're asking me, but I cannot ask because I'm also a restaurateur, and we probably have to check with Charlie. This is probably conflict for me to ask, but I think we should look into that. And then I don't disagree with the liquor licenses being waived either.
Can you hang on about 2 minutes, Laram, and then I'd like to get this. We got a motion and a second on this.
So as far as
I'd like to get a vote.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Ms. Casey, I agree with what Marilyn said. I think that as you just seen that it's going to set a precedent, then people are going to be saying, well, can I waive my property taxes? Where do we draw the line?
I believe this is a crisis decision on our part, almost emergency to keep some of these businesses maybe floating. Bob, did you have a?
Yeah, I just want one thing. I do not have a county liquor license, so I just want to make sure that's clear, so I don't have a conflict on this. But we charge them a license for 12 months, and they've only been able to be legally open for 6 months. So I have no problem setting this precedence. I think the health department has talked about it over there. I know they have about how to proceed, but that's their call.
There's ongoing discussion. But let's get this vote out of the way first. We got a motion and a second. Mr. Kitson, discussion.
Casey, a quick point of clarification. As Bob said, the health department will be up to them, but as far as taxes, we did, if you recall, vote to let people pay their taxes late without penalty to try and give some benefit in the early stages of this. So it's just another step in trying to help the taxpayer.
We've got a lot of hurting people out there right now, and this is a little help, not as much as they need, but it's about what we can do. So we got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Yes.
Was that a yes?
Yes, I'm opposed.
And that's Casey?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Motion carried. Now, Liram, to your point, Liram, there's been discussion, as Bob said, with the health board. There's separate discussion going on right now to try to get some of maybe the health department's fees waived. That's a separate board and a separate decision to be made, but I can assure you it's being addressed. Does that answer your questions, Liram?
It's fine. Thank you, John.
Okay, thanks, Liram. Okay, any other new business? Okay, under appointments, appointing David J. Didier as Commissioner of the Maple Grove Drainage District for a term expiring on 1st of Tuesday in September 23. I need a motion to pass that. Mr. Copine, second by Mr. or Mrs. Kitson. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And Charlie, you have down some executive session. Sure. Mr. Norberg, motion to go into executive session, second by Mr. Kitson.
Yep. McLean? Yes. Lemini?
Yes.
Norberg? Olson? Halen?
Yes.
Shippert? Fruckenbrod? Wentling?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Williams? Allen?
Yes.
Valley?
Yes.
Bowers? Considine?
Yes.
Barster?
Yes.
Gibler?
Yes.
Horstman?
Yes.
Kitson? Opine?
Yes.
Nicholson?
Yes. Okay, we're in executive session.
Okay, wait.
I'm sorry.
Everybody on that wall, that board member, we know that. Stuff there needs to be removed.
Oh, we need to call. I could call Gibler, Wentling. Okay.
Shut this down
Gotcha.
because the YouTube still is playing.
Gotcha.
How will we include them?
Okay. If the various people on the Zoom call, if you can mute your mic and we will call you back on the phone. We're going to adjourn to the meeting room to the west of the boardroom, and then when we come back in session, we'll get you to turn your mic back on. Thank you. Well, we have a couple people up there that are not board members. Did that work, Charlie? Yeah. He was saying he can shut them down.
Lock those people out of the system for a while.
Now they're all shut off, so. Okay. Can everybody that's on the Zoom, can you hear me?
Yes.
We've decided to continue on in the courtroom rather than call people. We had some people on Zoom that were not board members and, but we're going to continue in the boardroom and Mr. Boonster will make the case in the executive session. Can everybody hear me there?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
You can't hear anything.
Yes. This is Wentling. I can hear you.
Okay, thanks.
Kelly Dallas is still there.
any board members can't be in on the executive, or excuse me, anybody but board members can't be in on this, so if you can.
I'm gonna start removing people we don't recognize. So if you are a board member and I do accidentally disconnect you, use the same login details, just reconnect and I'll approve you.
Bob Gibler won't be in on the call. He's going to be gone.
Gibler left.
Gibler's gone. Yeah.